Come on, do something.
This is what fascism looks like. We're gonna come and get all the fucking communists.
No more commies! No more commies! No more commies! No more commies!
Okay, I'm here with Matt from the Berkeley Animal Rights Center, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what the Berkeley Animal Rights Center is, a little bit of its history, and then we'll get into a little bit of things that you guys do.
Awesome, thanks. So the Berkeley Animal Rights Center has been around for right around a year now, and it's actually the first community center for animal rights in the entire Western Hemisphere. So we're really proud of that fact. And this is a community space that has a vegan store and animal rights related apparel. It's a community space for animal rights groups of pretty much any stripe within our basic framework of values to come together and to have events like speaking events, organized protests, organized community events, sanctuary work days, all sorts of things. And it's all kind of centered around this idea that we want Berkeley to lead the United States on animal rights issues, and concluding with our ultimate goal here in Berkeley, see it right here, our goal is to ban all violence towards animals by 2025, so Ban Meat in Berkeley is kind of the rallying cry of the moment.
Okay guys, why don't you go ahead and give me your names.
Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm Almira.
Okay, so I'm there from here at the Berkeley Animal Rights Center, and they're going to give us kind of a rundown of their experience with the fascist assault, the week-long fascist assault on Revolution Books. They were both there. Paul, you were there one of the days, and Almira, you were there more than once. So I'll just kind of let you take it from there. Why don't you give us your take on your experience? Actually, why don't you start out by telling us kind of how you came aware that it was happening and how you were able to mobilize and get it together to be there for them.
Yeah, well, we're in the same little mall area as Revolution Books, so we know the people, a little bit who volunteer and work there, so we're aware of kind of the things that are happening, and we were aware of they're calling it the Free Speech Week that was happening on campus, aware of some of the speakers that were coming, and we had heard a little bit about some clashes that had happened earlier on the day. This was the Sunday. But we actually had an event here that was already planned, which was a training that we were doing, ironically, or I guess a good thing was we were doing a training on how to respond during protests and how to prepare ourselves for protests. So we were here doing this training, and someone from Revolution Books came over, kind of looking pretty scared actually, and asked us if we could come and help her. Because the fascists were coming back to the bookstore. So we were like, well, this is great, use of our training. We're going to go over and kind of just basically be in solidarity with the people who were there, just as support and as a presence to show them, the fascists, that they weren't going to be able to just kind of walk on right through into the bookstore and harass people. So that's what happened on the first day. We basically stood there for a while, silently until they eventually left. But yeah, I think that was caught on video, and it was good practice for our people to not kind of, engage with some of the ridiculous things, hateful things that the people there were saying.
So what you're telling me is that you worked with the fascists ahead of time to plan this whole thing so that you could have proper training in tactical...
Yeah.
No? Okay.
But it was a good exercise, real
Sure.
life.
Sure.
And yeah.
And as people will see, I'll put some video in over this, that your presence was fabulous, and you remained stern and just held your ground and steady and consistent, and it really made all the difference and allowed them to sort of say all the ridiculous things that they said and all the incriminating things that they said, because you wouldn't respond. And I'm a responder. I have to engage. I get into it with them, and it takes. So tell me a little bit about your take on it, Paul.
Well, on the day you're talking about, I was actually in Oakland at the East Point Peace Academy, finishing up the fourth day of a 4-day nonviolence training, being trained to be a trainer of Kingian nonviolence. And we saw the videos in our group chats and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then the next day, Monday, we were here, and the Rev Books folks came, and they were like, hey, word is they're going to come back and try to attack us again. And sure enough, they did. We went down there and just sort of formed a peaceful wall. And my friend Chase is here now too. He was sort of standing in between, one of the alt-right people who was hurling insults and trying to sort of antagonize, members of Revolution Books. So Chase just non-violently took a position calmly there, and then Amir actually suggested, hey, you should maybe back Chase up, and so myself and 4 or 5 others went and just sort of formed a nice wall there and let them just hurl their insults and make their threats, and yeah, it was fine. It's like, what we're trained to do is we don't want to use violence to combat violence in this sense. I know that some people don't have that privilege and need to defend themselves in different ways, but in this situation we certainly wanted to just de-escalate the situation and just help keep our friends of Red Books safe from that attack.
So I mean, there's the first day, there's the second day, third day, fourth day, and you guys were there every day. But I kind of want to hear a little bit about the aftermath of it and how a community sort of deals with this after, because it's not over now that this buffoon and his monkey parade of online YouTubers isn't behind him. They're not here, they're gone. But maybe you could talk a little bit about how you deal with the aftermath of it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a really strong community here of people who really care about each other and support each other, and so, when something like that happens, it definitely affects individual people differently, like depending on, how privileged of a person you are. Like, it might not be like that big of a deal for like people like, Paul and myself, who have a lot of privilege, but there are other people in our community who it might be a lot, scarier for, and so we all have to kind of support each other and make sure people know that there's places to go where they can be safe and talk about their experiences, and they don't have to, they shouldn't, or we're trying our best to make people have a space where they don't need to be afraid of being targeted just for like kind of who they are.
Yeah, well said.
Excellent. So if you guys have any closing thoughts or anything else you'd like to add?
I think, it's really important that we all stick together, people working for social justice on all different fronts. We're animal rights activists first and foremost, but humans are also animals, and if all of the people who are progressive and fighting for a better world, if we all work together, like that's when we're really going to be extremely powerful, because we are the majority, and we don't want to let this minority of people who are promoting hate kind of win. So yeah,
well said.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
and thank you so much for your help at Revolution Books too. That was just wonderful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Look at that amazing picture right there.
Designed by one of our activists, Kitty Jones, painted by Kitty and also Tiffany over there.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a community space for animal rights groups of pretty much any stripe within our basic framework of values to come together and to have events like speaking events, organized protests, organized community events, sanctuary work days, all sorts of things. And it's all kind of centered around this idea that we want Berkeley to lead the United States on animal rights issues, and concluding with our ultimate goal here in Berkeley, see it right here, our goal is to ban all violence towards animals by 2025, so Ban Meat in Berkeley is kind of the rallying cry of the moment.
Excellent. So you must have all kinds of things in the works to achieve those goals. Why don't you give us a little rundown of what the Berkeley Animal Rights Center has in
Definitely. So
coming
I'm
up.
also an organizer with the Direct Action Everywhere. This is a global grassroots animal rights network. So there's chapters all over the country and even around the world. We have some chapters in Canada, in Europe, and a few in South America. But the Bay Area is kind of the most active and founding chapter of Direct Action Everywhere, and we're really excited for coming up next weekend. Well, I don't know when this is going to be released, but October 20th to 22nd, we have our DXC, Direct Action Everywhere. DXC is short for that, Convergence, and this is a 3-day event. Some of the highlights include Ingrid Newkirk, the founder of PETA, kind of the most prominent person in animal rights history, is going to be here and speaking. We're going to have an official animal rights march. So this is going to be, we're shooting for 1,000 people. It's certainly going to be several hundred people marching through the streets of Berkeley, the largest animal rights gathering in the history of Berkeley. So we're really excited about that. We also have a very exciting action happening on Sunday. For security culture reasons, I won't release the details now, but maybe by the time this comes out, you'll be able to update that. It's going to be something that's very exciting and in some ways a historic moment of the animal rights movement. And one more highlight of that weekend is open rescue training. So what we do as activists with Direct Action Everywhere, one thing we do is what's called open rescue. And this is a tactic where we go inside of farms, inside of places of violence, in the middle of the night. We infiltrate these places, we document conditions, we rescue sick and injured animals, we take them to a vet and then to sanctuary, and then we tell the whole world exactly what we did. We proudly show our faces. We say, hey, we're on the side of justice, we're on the side of compassion and nonviolence. If these corporations want to brand us criminals, if they want to come after us, like, let's have it out in court. And so far this work is spreading far and wide, and this is an opportunity for anybody who's interested to kind of learn the ins and outs of how to get involved, how to form a team, research, execution, press, legal, kind of everything you need to know with this open rescue that we're trying to spread into a mass movement of civil disobedience.
Excellent. So tell us how to find you, get a hold of you, donate to you, whatever it is.
Awesome. So as far as the Berkeley Animal Rights Center, it's berkeleyarc.com. Direct Action Everywhere is just directactioneverywhere.com. We have really active presence on Facebook in particular with both of those things. So if you Facebook search Berkeley Animal Rights Center or Direct Action Everywhere, SF Bay area is our very active chapter within that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks.